After more than a century, the Titanic hitting an iceberg and sinking in April 1912. The wreckage was only discovered in 1985, and since then more than 5,000 artifacts have been retrieved from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
A century after the Titanic vanished beneath the waves, a camera sealed in a prototype waterproof casing has just been pulled from the ocean floor. And what it captured will shake history to its core. Using neutron tomography and AI, scientists decoded the long-lost film without ever unspooling it, revealing never-before-seen images that suggest the ship may have been damaged before hitting the iceberg. What else have we gotten wrong about that night? Stay tuned. The astonishing discovery. Over a century has passed since the Titanic's sinking, but a discovery deep beneath the Atlantic has changed what we know about that night. A waterproof camera, still intact after 110 years underwater, has been recovered from the debris field. What makes this find so remarkable is the condition in which the photographic camera was retrieved. Despite being submerged in near-freezing, crushing waters for so long, the camera defied odds by surviving, at least partially intact. Experts found the inner film chamber severely corroded but not completely damaged. It was clear to those studying the artifact that it was no ordinary camera. The camera bore an engraved plate, Benjamin Guggenheim's name and cabin number. This device had been specially designed as a prototype waterproof casing, able to protect its delicate contents in extreme environments. Historical records confirm this camera was commissioned by Benjamin Guggenheim, a notable American businessman and passenger aboard the Titanic, known for his interest in technological advancements. Guggenheim had several experimental devices shipped on the Titanic, including this reinforced photographic camera developed in Hamburg just before the ship's ill-fated departure. The recovery effort that brought this treasure to light was led by elite scientists and oceanographers equipped with the latest deep-sea exploration technologies. Contrary to popular association with luxury tourism or public spectacle, the submersible Responsible was a highly specialized research vessel made for rigorous scientific missions. It was equipped with precision imaging systems fine-tuned through collaboration between institutions known for marine science expertise. Among the team was a leading oceanographer who had dedicated her career to understanding material preservation under extreme pressure, Dr. Harriet Zhao. Her role was instrumental in designing protocols for safely recovering and handling artifacts from depths exceeding 12,000 feet, where the ocean's pressure would be unimaginably intense. The operation took months of detailed planning and careful execution. The ocean floor conceals the Titanic wreck in silt and corrosion, and accessing fragile artifacts required incredible delicacy. The camera was sealed in a pressurized containment unit immediately after retrieval to prevent further degradation from exposure to the surface environment. Preservation was paramount because inside that camera lay untapped memories, film rolls that had not seen the light of day for over 100 years. The restoration team approached the project not only as a technical endeavor, but as a mission to reopen a window into the past, frozen in time and waiting to reveal its secrets. Belonging to a man who was deeply fascinated with new technology, this camera was more than an artifact. It symbolized a bridge between eras, technology, and untold stories. The White Star Line manifest, painstakingly maintained in company archives, confirmed Benjamin Guggenheim's shipment of the device, underscoring his intent to document the voyage with the latest photographic innovation available at the time. The reinforced camera built in Germany was state-of-the-art in 1912, especially for its waterproofing capabilities, which makes its survival decades underwater less surprising but still exceptional. The recovered film rolls themselves posed a new challenge. Long submerged and exposed to corrosive elements, they required unprecedented care not to be destroyed during attempts to view the images. Conventional photographic development was out of the question. Instead, researchers turned to advanced scientific techniques that allowed them to examine the film without physically unspooling or exposing it to air and harmful chemicals. This marked a pivotal moment in the investigation of the Titanic disaster because the contents of these photographs promised new perspectives that no historical record could replace. The story of this camera, its recovery, and the team working to recover lost images provides a profound connection to the Titanic's tragic tale. It is a tale not only of maritime history, but of human curiosity, technological progression, and the unyielding desire to illuminate the past. These photographs from the depths of the ocean are set to rewrite what we have long accepted about the Titanic's final journey, offering a glimpse at moments frozen in time that survived against overwhelming odds. This sets the stage for the remarkable journey from discovery to decoding, where technology and expertise converge to bring a forgotten piece of history back to life. The collaboration between leaders in marine science and cutting-edge imaging signals a new era in underwater archaeology and historical research, where heritage submerged for decades might finally emerge with clarity and truth. Decoding the impossible. Unveiling the contents of the century-old film rolls recovered from the depths presented one of the greatest technical challenges in modern archaeology and imaging science. Physical development of the fragile, water-damaged film was impossible without destroying the evidence forever. The emulsion layer, where images are recorded, had fused with salt crystals and sediment after a century underwater. Instead, the research team pioneered a cutting-edge approach that combined neutron tomography with artificial intelligence to reveal the hidden images without movement or exposure. Neutron tomography, an advanced imaging technique that uses neutron particles to create precise three-dimensional scans, allowed the scientists to peer inside the corroded film chamber and the tightly wound rolls beneath. By capturing the subtle variations in material density and structure, the tomography provided a non-invasive map of the film's emulsion layers, where light-sensitive images are recorded. This revolutionary technique, often employed in medical and industrial fields, had never before been applied in this way to recover photographs from submerged historical artifacts. Working alongside the imaging experts was Dr. Maya Tanaka, a specialist in computational image reconstruction and artificial intelligence. Her team applied machine learning algorithms to interpret the complex neutron tomography data. The AI was trained to identify and enhance faint patterns that represent the photographs embedded on the film, distinguishing true image details from noise caused by deterioration and sediment. By iteratively refining the rendered images, the AI brought clarity to visual elements that human eyes could not resolve on their own. This collaboration between human expertise and artificial intelligence marked a turning point. Each digital frame extracted from the film was like watching history re-emerge from its submerged tomb. The images revealed scenes never before documented, capturing moments from the Titanic's last hours with startling clarity. Faces of key passengers, arrangements of lifeboats, and even the ship's band preparing for their final performance appeared on the reconstructed frames. One of the most compelling aspects of this project was the ability to read the film without physically unspooling it. The extremely fragile state of the film rolls meant that any mechanical manipulation could lead to irreparable damage. The neutron tomography coupled with AI effectively allowed virtual development of the film, a technical feat that earlier generations of scientists could not have envisioned. The technology also provided precise timestamps embedded on the film strips, allowing historians to sequence events in a way that had not been possible before. These timestamps helped verify the chronology of the disaster, placing important figures such as Bruce Ismay, the White Star Line executive, and Captain Edward Smith in newly seen contexts. The images also shed light on moments involving the ship's musicians, whose calm bravery had long become legendary but had never been visually documented in such detail. This integration of neutron tomography and AI decoding was the product of years of cross-disciplinary cooperation between physicists, historians, computer scientists, and material conservationists. It embodies a new frontier in archaeological methodology, where non-destructive imaging and intelligent data interpretation combine to unlock secrets once thought lost to time and nature. The achievements of Dr. Maya Tanaka and her team have redefined what is possible in historical investigation. Their work stands as an example of how sophisticated technology can serve as a bridge to the past, bringing forth information that adds depth and nuance to our understanding without compromising the original artifacts. Ultimately, this decoding process did more than reveal photographs. It challenged established narratives by providing visual evidence that questioned decades-old assumptions about the Titanic disaster. The clarity and detail of the images allowed researchers to re-evaluate the official inquiries from 1912 and 1913, which many had criticized for bias and incomplete accounts. Through this technological breakthrough, the collaboration between man and machine not only illuminated a forgotten perspective, but also highlighted the role of innovation in preserving and interpreting history. The project opened new avenues for exploring submerged heritage worldwide, providing tools that respect the fragility of historical materials while striving to recover their stories. As the photographs emerged from their watery grave, they offered more than visual confirmation of the Titanic's loss. They presented a profound message about resilience, both of technology created over 100 years ago and of modern scientific dedication. In this marriage of past and present, the lost images became a testament to human curiosity and the relentless pursuit of truth across generations. Rewriting Titanic's tragic tale.
She was a 63-year-old milliner, which means she did all the little detail work on hats and dresses. And she was traveling to the U.S. to be with her daughter, who was recently widowed.
The newly recovered photographs, brought to light 110 years after the Titanic's sinking, serve as a powerful window into a tragic moment frozen in time. The images reveal something historians long suspected but couldn't prove: structural damage to the ship's hull that existed before the iceberg collision. The unprecedented clarity of these photos and the details they reveal have prompted historians and scientists to reconsider the events, key figures, and official narratives surrounding the disaster. The photographs, recovered through painstaking technological effort, depict scenes until now unseen. Timestamps embedded in the original film strips provided researchers with precise moments during the vessel's final hours, allowing a much more accurate timeline to be built. Among the individuals captured are notable figures like Bruce Ismay, the controversial White Star Line executive, and Captain Edward Smith, whose decisions on that fateful night have been scrutinized for generations. One photograph shows Ismay near a lifeboat being loaded with crew members, not just women and children, supporting testimony that crew were evacuating earlier than officially reported. The ship's band, historically seen as symbols of courage as they played to calm passengers, now appear within these images in moments of tension and resolve. Their presence in the photos contextualizes their bravery with vivid visual proof of their final acts of dedication. Such revelations deepen the emotional landscape of the disaster and give voice to those who had been relegated to mere legend for so long. Importantly, the photos also disclosed evidence that calls into question the completeness and objectivity of the government inquiries held shortly after the disaster in 1912 and 1913. Scholars like Dr. Margaret Chen have scrutinized disparities between eyewitness testimonies, archival records, and the new photographic evidence. Patterns emerge suggesting that the inquiries may have been influenced by biases and pressures, obscuring details that could have implicated White Star Line's operational failures. One poignant element visible in the images relates to the iceberg impact itself. Rather than sinking a vessel deemed unsinkable but otherwise intact, the photographs suggest Titanic was already critically compromised before striking the iceberg. Breaches and water ingress visible in some frames point to pre-existing damage possibly sustained earlier in the voyage. This shifts the focus away from a single catastrophic collision to a more complex scenario involving structural vulnerability. The photographs, in their raw immediacy, challenge the long-held perception that the iceberg alone was solely responsible for sinking the ship. This change in understanding profoundly affects how responsibility and tragedy are distributed among the parties involved, placing greater emphasis on construction, maintenance, and company decisions. Visual scrutiny of the images offers additional insight into the chaos as the Titanic wound down. The layout of lifeboats, movement of passengers, and deployment of crew are revealed in sequences that underscore the confusion and heroism amid disaster. The photographs lend evidence to accounts that some lifeboats left partially filled, contradicting earlier official narratives that suggested widespread negligence was pervasive. This rich visual archive also allows historians to revisit and reassess survivor memories and personal accounts with newfound context. Details such as clothing, expressions, and positioning fly in the face of previously accepted accepted chronological gaps and inconsistencies in testimonies. This level of detail makes the tragedy more tangible and accessible, yet it also complicates established interpretations. The photographs form a poignant bridge between historical records and living memory. Unlike static documents or written testimonials, they convey immediacy and emotional texture, which historians and the public alike find compelling and difficult to dismiss. As Dr. Margaret Chen contends, these images do not merely document the past, they actively reshape our collective understanding. Moreover, the visual evidence has stirred debate over the role of White Star Line and its possible attempts to influence the narrative post-disaster. New light is shed on the decisions made by company executives both before and after the sinking, painting a picture of corporate priorities sometimes in conflict with passenger safety. The rediscovery of these images thus disrupts old myths and opens the door to new scholarly inquiry. It beckons researchers to reconsider responsibilities and the broader socio-political context surrounding the tragic loss of over 1,500 lives. The photographs provide the clearest view yet of the humanity, misjudgments, and chaos that defined Titanic's final hours. Through these frames, a fuller, more nuanced story emerges, one that goes beyond familiar headlines and heroic tales to embrace the complexity of human error, bravery, and consequence. As historians work to incorporate this fresh visual evidence, the Titanic story evolves from legend toward a deeper, more truthful historical account rooted in the very moments captured within those fragile rolls of film. Unveiling the human stories. The rediscovered photographs from the Titanic reveal more than just images and moments. They vividly bring to life the different people who were aboard that fateful ship. One photograph shows a third-class passenger, later identified through manifest records as Irish immigrant Mary Mangan, age 30, holding her daughter's hand on the boat deck. Neither survived. The image was captured approximately 90 minutes before the ship sank. The recovered images show candid moments of humanity amid luxury and routine. Passengers partaking in leisure activities, families gathered on deck, and the crew performing their duties are seen with surprising clarity. The Titanic's band, whose music famously continued amid chaos, is depicted preparing and performing, giving a tangible form to a story often heard but rarely visualized. The photographs transform myth into reality by revealing expressions of determination, fear, and compassion that were otherwise lost in time. With the aid of modern technology, historians have been able to link faces in these photographs to names and stories preserved in records. This has created an unprecedented connection between the visual and documentary, breathing life and identity into individuals often reduced to numbers on a manifest. The clothes they wore, their gestures and poses, even the arrangement of their belongings, all offer clues that deepen our understanding of who these people were, what they experienced, and the societal structure aboard the Titanic. These visual records illuminate the diversity aboard the ship, revealing the contrasts between the grand first-class suites and the crowded steerage accommodations. They capture the worn faces of crew laboring tirelessly to keep the ship operational and calm, as well as the excited expressions of passengers unaware of the fate soon to unfold. The photos highlight the shared uncertainties and shared hopes of all aboard, regardless of status or background. The emotional resonance of these photographs moves beyond historical curiosity, fostering empathy for a tragedy felt so profoundly around the world. Viewers confront the vulnerability, courage, and humanity of individuals facing the unknown together. These images remind us that the Titanic was not simply a vessel lost to the ocean, but a scene of countless intertwined lives, each with their own dreams, fears, and stories. For descendants of survivors and historians alike, these photographs offer a tangible connection to ancestors and eyewitnesses. They help reconstruct family histories and personal narratives with a new dimension of depth and authenticity. The image's ability to convey emotion and detail often surpasses what written reports or witness testimonies alone can capture. Moreover, the photographs shed light on the complex social environment aboard the Titanic. They reveal moments of joy and normalcy, but also underscore the tensions and disparities that existed within the ship's confines. These realities suggest the disaster was experienced through many different lenses, complicating simplistic narratives and encouraging a nuanced understanding of the tragedy. Collectively, the rediscovered photographs serve as a powerful bridge between the past and present. They transform lists of names into faces, cold statistics into lived experience, and distant history into a vivid, deeply human story. This humanization of the Titanic not only honors those lost, but enriches our collective memory, inviting ongoing reflection on resilience, loss, and the enduring impact of this historic voyage. In capturing the raw emotions and daily lives of those on board, these photographs offer more than just visual documentation. They shift the way the Titanic's story is told, emphasizing the individuals behind the tragedy and ensuring their stories continue to be remembered with dignity and empathy. Bridging past and present. The rediscovery of the Titanic's lost photographs did not merely unveil frozen moments from a century ago. It sparked a transformative collaboration between historians, scientists, and technologists, united in a shared quest to reconstruct history with unprecedented clarity. This powerful alliance brought together a diverse range of expertise and cutting-edge tools to interpret and preserve one of the most significant archaeological finds of the modern era. At the core of this endeavor was the integration of advanced technologies designed to map, analyze, and digitally reconstruct the Titanic wreck site and its artifacts. Unlike earlier explorations in the past century that physically touched or visually glanced at the shipwreck through portholes, the modern approach involved high-resolution sonar imaging, digital scanning, and robotic vessels capable of enduring the extreme pressure of the deep ocean. These systems produced comprehensive three-dimensional representations of the shipwreck, effectively creating a digital twin of the historic site. This virtual exploration allowed scientists to visualize the Titanic structure in its fragmented yet fascinating state without disturbing the fragile remains. A key contributor to this technological revolution was the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, whose remotely operated vehicles carried sophisticated cameras and laser scanners. These tools captured hundreds of thousands of high-definition images and laser measurements, weaving them into detailed mosaics that showcase the ship's deck, bow, stern, and even small artifacts lying around. This meticulous documentation produced tens of thousands of artifacts recorded in situ, transforming the wreck from a distant mystery into an accessible underwater archaeological site. More than just images, the data formed the foundation of a geographic information system database that enabled researchers to study the relationships between objects scattered across the debris field. They could virtually fly around the shipwreck, focusing on features such as the broken hull sections, machinery, personal belongings, and even details like buttons and shoes on the sea floor. This interactive exploration revolutionized maritime archaeology by turning the Titanic from a static relic into a dynamic research environment, inviting fresh questions with every digital dive. This digital resurrection extended to the photographs recovered from the watery depths. Scientists and historians collaborated to cross-reference the newly uncovered images with the digital sitemap and archival records. The interdisciplinary dialogue helped contextualize each frame, linking it to physical locations and documented events. The photographs themselves became part of an evolving narrative where human stories intertwined with technological achievements. Dr. Harriet Zhao, who specialized in the preservation of materials exposed to extreme underwater conditions, their collective expertise ensured that every bit of visual data extracted from the photographs was interpreted with precision and sensitivity. These teams leveraged artificial intelligence not only to enhance image quality, but to speculate about the sequence of events and the condition of the ship as seen in the frames. This effort transformed isolated snapshots into coherent scenes imbued with meaning. The collaboration extended beyond science and technology. Historians challenged long-held assumptions based on previously limited evidence. The photographic evidence prompted re-evaluation of official records, biases in government inquiries, and even corporate narratives propagated by the White Star Line. The interactive digital reconstructions sparked conversations among scholars, enthusiasts, and the public regarding authenticity, interpretation, and the fine line between evidence and artistic reconstruction. This convergence of AI, neutron tomography, digital archaeology, and historical research raised important philosophical questions. To what extent can a digital reconstruction be considered evidence? When does interpretation cross into artistic license? The project embraced these complexities, acknowledging that while the reconstructions provide invaluable insight, they remain models that reflect current understanding shaped by available data and technology. One of the greatest achievements of this collaborative approach has been its ability to engage a wide audience, bringing Titanic's story to life for new generations. The vivid three-dimensional maps, enhanced photographs, and animated reconstructions draw viewers into a narrative that is at once educational, immersive, and respectful of the individuals who lived, endured, and perished. This accessibility fosters remembrance while encouraging further inquiry. In blending the tools of science with the curiosity of history, this endeavor has rewritten how underwater cultural heritage is studied and shared. The Titanic, once a symbol of tragedy frozen in distant memory, has become a beacon of interdisciplinary possibility. The photographs, the technology used to reveal them, and the collaborative effort exemplify how past and present can unite to illuminate forgotten truths. This work not only deepens understanding of the Titanic disaster, but also sets a new standard for researching and conserving underwater archaeological sites worldwide. By honoring the fragility of such treasures and applying innovation with care, scientists ensure that these stories will continue to be told with accuracy and reverence well into the future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.